Alright, so we're doing just basic antiderivatives. Okay, so find the antiderivative for the following. Okay, so first thing when you do antiderivatives, you got to realize this is a differential equation. How do I know it's a differential equation? Because I have a derivative with an equation with x or y in it. Okay, so this is a derivative of a function. So what is the derivative that gives me dy over dx? Well, the derivative of y is dy over dx. So the antiderivative of dy over dx is y. So the antiderivative is y equals. Now, trig functions. The only way you're going to know the antiderivative of trig functions is knowing their derivative. Okay? So, for instance, the derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. Okay? So the antiderivative of sine x is negative cosine x plus. So that's the antiderivative. Now 1 over x. Well, what is the antiderivative of 1 over x? Well, you could try doing it, changing it to x to the negative 1 power and doing the antiderivative that way, where you add 1 to the power, so negative 1 plus 1 is 0, divided by the new power, and you get undefined. But if you remember, the derivative of the natural log of x is 1 over x. So some of these, the only way you're going to know the antiderivative is if you know the derivative, like that one. Okay? Now the second one, f prime of x equals 2x minus 4 square root of x plus 1 over x squared. This goes back to what we've been talking about with derivatives. So as soon as I see a root or x in the denominator, I know I need to rewrite. So f prime of x I'm rewriting is 2x minus 4x to the 1/2 plus x to the negative 2 power. Okay, so what I've done is I've changed my root to its power form, and I've used the negative power to bring it to the top. Okay, now take the antiderivative. So the antiderivative of f prime is f. Then it's 2 times, add 1 to the power, you get x squared over 2 minus 4x, add 1 to the power, you get 3/2 divided by 3 over 2 plus x, add 1 to the power, you get negative 1 divided by the new power, negative 1 plus c. Okay, and now we simplify. So 2 divided by 2, that gives me x squared. 3/2 divided by 3/2, the same thing as multiplying by 2/3. So this is minus 8/3 x to the 3/2 power minus x to the negative 1 plus c. And if you want to, you could change it back to their power form. So this would be x squared minus 8 over 3, and this is the square root of x cubed minus 1 over x plus c. And that's fully simplified. So again, we're basically doing the exact same thing we did with the derivative, but in the opposite direction. Okay, these should look very familiar to you. All right. Our last one. Again, we're taking the antiderivative. Do I have any rewriting to do? No. So we can go straight into our antiderivative. So the antiderivative of y prime is y, and this is 4 times add 1 to the power, which is 3 divided by 3, plus now the antiderivative of secant. And again, this is one of those that if you don't know your derivatives, you're not going to be able to take the antiderivative. So what derivative gives me secant squared? That's tangent minus e to the x plus c. Okay, so Just like the derivative of e to the x is e to the x, the antiderivative of e to the x is e to the x. Okay? So again, especially the trig functions, some of those just, you either know it because you know the derivative, or you're not going to know it. There's no other way. So you're going to have to go back over your derivative rules if you forgot any of them.